boys and girls, and welcome to the Crafty Corner. My name is Miss Lisa for the Fayette County Public Library. Today we are going to be making this little 3D hanging unicorn. Now when you come to the library, it might not be a white unicorn and it might not be a purple unicorn. You get to choose because there's going to be several different colors for you. So what we're going to want to do first is we're going to take all of our circles, and there are 8 of them, and we're going to fold them directly in half. Okay, so we're going to take all of our circles, and we're going to make sure we only have one of them at a time, and we're going to fold them all in half. And we're going to see eventually we're going to glue all of these halves together and make the big fat round body of a unicorn. So let's go ahead and keep folding them all in half. Oops, there were 2 together there, so I'm going to fold that one in half, lay that aside, fold this one in half. Okay, let's fold these in half. And once we get them all folded in half, we're going to start to assemble them. And I think we're only going to assemble about half of them to begin with. So we're going to take 2 circles, take 2 of the halves on one half, put on the glue, and glue the other half like right flush, right up next to it. Okay, and I've used that word before, boys and girls, where there's no lip, no edge. You want it right there next to each other. Okay, and I'm just going to fold that in half, and I'm going to fold the next one and put it right there on it. And again, glue it right on. Just going to make a big stack here, and then we'll eventually have his whole body. Now, once we have got this started, we are going to want to think about inserting his head and inserting the hanger and his toes and his tail. There's a lot of things that have to go on him. So we have to be thinking about that as we continue through our circles. So I'm going to set that aside just a minute and let that dry. You're going to have one template of a unicorn head. I would suggest that you go ahead and get a piece of paper and go ahead and make a second copy. You just lay it underneath a piece of computer paper and trace that. You will have another unicorn head. And actually, you know what, I could have just cut it out. You know, here's another idea, boys and girls. You don't even need to trace it. I'm just going to take the one that's in my packet and lay it on top, and then I'm just going to cut. So I'm going to get 2 shapes exactly the same without even having to trace, and that way we're not going to see the black lines either. The reason I'm doing this is because we want his unicorn horn to stick up from between his body. So I'm actually turn this around a little bit so I don't see the white. And if I have some colored pencils here, let's go ahead and make his nose. We're going to go ahead and color a little bit of his nose in here. We want to be able to see which way he's turned so that he's going the right direction. All right, so then there's his nose. And to make his ear look a little better, we can make a little outline up here, okay, on both sides. And we can make an open eye, or as our example has him, he's sort of asleep, okay? Now it's sort of a big eye. Let's make this little eye a little bit smaller. But what's going to make him really look like a unicorn is his horn. And so you're going to have all these little scraps of paper that we've given you. And I don't have a pink in here, so I'm going to go ahead and go with the red. I'm going to just make a triangle. And between the 2 layers of paper is where you're going to want to put that unicorn horn. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on both sides of it. But I'm only going to put it on one side actually, because then down the side of his body here, we want to have some pretty fringe. So I'm going to take some of this, cut it a little shorter here, and we're just going to make some little itty bitty rectangles. I'm going to take my glue and just glue down the side of the unicorn's body, and so we're going to put some green, whoops, they're sticking together, boys and girls. Take your time here and lay your little strips down in the glue. Okay, whoops, I don't have fingernails, so it's hard for me to grab them. And I think they're actually too wide. Let's make these a little thinner. Maybe we'll just make 2 yellows. And then we'll lay those in here like this. Because see, then we're going to cover it up, and that's going to make his little fringe. I guess it's not showing out as much as you want it to. Hang on, boys and girls. I'm taking those off again. All right, so what we're going to want to do is put the glue on here and make sure that your little rectangles are coming straight out, okay? If you know the word perpendicular, okay, that would be a great thing to make sure that they're coming straight off your unicorn's body, because then it will show more when you glue the other piece on top of it. Okay, and then I think I'll do maybe, they don't need to be that long, so it's just nice and thin and little, and do a couple orange to finish it up. My glue stick is drying up here, boys and girls, and making the colors pop off. Do you see that? It's frustrating when it doesn't work right the first time, huh? I understand your frustration. Okay, let's go ahead and get the orange glued on. And because our fingers are sticky, sometimes the paper comes right off up with us, doesn't it? Okay, so then I think we can go ahead and glue that, and then on either side, you're not going to be able to see the fringe, so we need those 2 layers. I'll go ahead and put my glue all the way on here. Got to be careful of the fringe. Actually, you know what? It might be better to put the glue over here. All right, so there we go. There's our unicorn. Oh, he looks pretty good. It looks like there might be a little bit of fringe up around his horn too. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue up there. And I'm going to cut these itty bitty little rectangles. And give him some hair up there too. You know, unicorns are magical, made-up animals. So however you want to make him or her, it would totally be all right. Unicorns are pretty big in books, and here at the library, we have a lot of books on unicorns. The Bookmobile has a bunch of them. So if you want to read a unicorn story, by all means, come and get one when you get your craft. All righty. I guess that's going to have to do. This one piece is not cooperating. My fingers are getting sticky, boys and girls. You know, sometimes when you do arts and crafts, you might need to have like a little wet towel nearby so that you can wipe your hands and not be all sticky. All right, so there's his body. I'm going to set his body aside for a minute while we finish his head, I guess. I guess we need to finish his body. Well, we need some feet, so we just need 2 rectangles. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 little rectangles and put some little hooves on there. So I'll take my marker or my colored pencil again. I'm going to color in some pink. You know, maybe I should have purple because his body is purple, but I'll just make him pink. I'm doing it on both sides because it's going to be a hanging craft, and so you're going to want to be able to see it from both sides. Okay, those are the ones that aren't made yet. And so this is his body so far. So what we're going to want to do is on these 2 pieces that aren't, that don't have the rest of them, we're going to go ahead and glue his feet down. So on this one, oops, that glue is dead. All right, good thing I have more than one. So we're going to glue a foot over here and a foot over here. And we also want some of his beautiful little fringe, or whatever you want to call it, his hair, his mane, along the side here. So this is, I'm halfway through putting this part of his body together. So I'm making some little rectangles just like I did for around his neck. We're going to make some over here too. And boys and girls, I'm sorry I'm having trouble because my fingers are sticky. Let's go ahead and get a couple little orange ones. Maybe if I turn it around. That might work a little better for me. Let's get a couple yellow ones. And maybe I have enough to make 2 little blue ones that are shorter, but that's okay. All right, so now we've got that taken care of. Now we can finish putting on the rest of his body. So we're going to see how that is sandwiched between 2 of these half pieces of circles. So I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on this side so I don't mess up the fringe, and I'll go ahead and glue that down in there. Now before we get too carried away, we're also going to want to get that hanger in. This hanger needs to go in the middle of all of these circles. And what would be a good thing to do is to go ahead, and you're probably going to need an adult to help you here, is tie a knot. Let's go ahead and get a knot tied in the bottom. Well, sure. Get a knot tied here in the bottom so that it doesn't slip out. And I'm going to make it a double knot. All right, so that's not good. So then we're going to put that right in here. And I am going to actually lay a little bit of glue in here. Am I in between 2? Oh, there you go. I want to make sure I'm between 2. I'm right here in the crease. So, whoops. I did it again, boys and girls. Let's make sure you're in the crease. I'm going to put the glue. Look at that nice straight line. And then we're going to lay this hanger down in here. Very good. We're also going to want to glue his body in there. So I think what we're going to do is put one more. Let's put another one in here before we do the hanger, the head. So I'm going to glue another one of these circles down. Did I do it right? Yep. Just got to make sure you're gluing only half of it to the right side. We're almost done putting him all together. I'm going to put that one right in there. And now that I have this nice clean place, I can lay his head. I guess maybe he needs to go, well, but his tail's over here, isn't it? I guess he needs to go this way. It would look funny if that was off and on his belly. Just make sure your unicorn's going the right direction. And his neck could be a little bit longer. But we're going to glue, okay, not in the crease, not in that very center, but one over. Put enough glue, and I'm going to have to pull this guy out, I think. It's not going to work. Okay, then I'm going to open up the crease, and we have the one last one to go in there. So we need glue on both of those sides. And lay that last circle down. Make sure it's all coming together. Yep. And voila! We have ourselves this big fat unicorn. All right, I hope you understood all those steps, because it's a little tricky to get him all together. But he's really cute when you're done. All right, boys and girls, come grab this unicorn craft. Come grab a book down at the Fayette County Public Library. And I'm Miss Lisa for the Crafty Corner. Join me again next week for another awesome craft. Bye now.